This 1232 coming at you with a gun review. This is a CZ. Let's see, 75 SP01 Tactical. This is actually going to come in the newer case. Older ones come in the blue case. No big deal, whatever. It's just a case. But this is actually pretty nice. Holds everything in place. It does come with an Allen wrench that is for adjusting and removing the sights, I believe. Two 18-round magazines for the 9mm. Comes with a cleaning brush and rod. Comes with your manual, which is in like 20 different languages. Comes with your limited 5-year warranty. I have no idea what that is, but let's see. This is your target. They use cellular and bellet 124 grain at 25 meters. Goes to show you what they, people are actually handling this gun when they inspect it before they send it out, which is actually pretty cool on CZ's part. But that all goes back into the box. It does come with a lock, but I don't remember where I put that. I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Either way, let's move on into the gun. Let's see. Let's put this aside. This is going to be the gun, guys. Going to come with, let's see, 18-round magazine. Does not fit flush. Sticks out a little bit past the bottom there. Does come with a lanyard loop. Rubber grips, texturized, very nice, super conformed. I don't know if you can see that very well, but has grooves to contour the hands, and it does so very, very well. Even when you put your thumb up here to hit the slide release, it has a contour for your thumb to hit that, and if you shoot your gun this way where you lay your thumb right underneath the slide lock, it holds that in place very well. Or like I do, I actually hold my gun down here. Again, it is contoured very nicely to hold that position. It does have checker in the front, not very aggressive, but adds a little bit of texture to give you some grip. Has a little bit of texture in the back. Again, just a little additive to give you some better grip. Extended beaver tail, high swept, so you can get a nice high grip. Again, this gun is meant for shooters. This has everything about this gun is about the grip. I'm telling you. Outside of maybe they could have done more checkering in the front, in the back, but this thing is meant to conform to the hand, and it does very well. So in a position, standard shooting position, this thing does very well. You're gonna have a very deep set grooves on the back and on the front are light, but very functional. Let's see, extremely hard to pull back, seeing as it does have a very narrow slide because it is in frame rails, as I will show you in a second. But this is the decocker version. Some of them are going to have the safety. This is going to go ahead and bring you to a half cock position, and going to give you a lighter slack on the trigger. I'll go back to the trigger in just a second. It's going to have an extended slide release. The regular versions have a smaller slide release. This is specifically made for the Shadows and the SP01s, tactical or base, which is like I said, the safety version. This one's going to have true dot night sights, 3-dot sights. Going to have let's see, lining in the front to reduce glare, and then it's going to have ambidextrous, wow, very dirty again, but ambidextrous decocker and right hand, meant for the right hand only slide release versus the 85 that has it on both sides, but it does have ambidextrous decock. Has meant for right hand sided magazine release, and then has checkering right up here in front of the trigger guard. This is going to be the full dust cover version outside of the traditional CZ75. It's going to have the shortened dust cover, and non-rail, this has the Picatinny 3-slotted rail, which is pretty much you can mount anything on there versus the 1 slot of the PO1. But extremely nice quality. You can tell I've had this for a while, put a tons of wear on it, but you shake this gun and you got no rattle still. This thing is super tight from the factory. Well, it's also super dirty, but I'll go into that in just a second. The only thing that you're hearing wiggle is this little lever right here to remove this safety on this side. But that's it. That's all you hear. Everything else is crazy tight on this gun. And along with that, I'll go over that in just a second. This is a very heavy recoil spring, which is rated for plus P ammo. Has a 20-pound, very heavy hammer spring. Sorry, I keep hitting the camera here. But like I said, I was going to go back to the trigger here. This is a very heavy trigger from the factory. But the purpose of that is, like I said, this is actually carried by military and law enforcement in other countries, and this is pretty much their safety. So that's the purpose of that. And like I said, plus B recoil spring here. My project is obviously going to be to reduce the trigger pull by a significant amount using Occasion Gunworks parts, and you'll see that later on in the videos. But let's go ahead and see what we got here for the trigger pull. I'm going to use my Timney trigger gauge. Alright, we're pulling at 11 pounds. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe, yeah, 11.5 pounds. Let's try that again. Get an average for you guys, just in case I'm doing something wrong. But, yeah, wow, I got a little over 12. That's really high. But as you can see, this is a really heavy from the factory trigger. Alright, that was little under 12 again. So on average, I'm going to say it's about 12 pound from the factory double action trigger. Let's go ahead and hit up single action mode. So that shouldn't be too bad. Alright, now for single action, you're looking at, let's see, what is that, 4.5, and that's pretty decent. That's nothing to be ashamed of. Let's try that again. Again, we're hitting a solid 5 on that one. And, whoops, one more time in single action. You're going to hit, I don't know what happened there, but that was 6. On average, it's going to be about 5 pounds. Might have been me holding the gun. But either way, like I said, very, very, very heavy double action pull from the factory, and it's meant to be that way, guys. Of course, like I said, there's many things you can do to change that. So if you don't care for that heavy double action, a little bit of creep, you can even hear the creep on that, which is crazy. But this is a well-worn in gun, guys, and I'm telling you, this is a super heavy trigger. Probably one of the heaviest I've felt in a handgun. But single action is pretty sweet. So long, hard to reach, at least for me, and I have medium-sized hands, hard to reach double action pull with a nice firm grip. Nice break. And then reset. It's going to be right there. What is that? A couple, I don't want to say. Let's try it again. It's probably around, reset is probably what, 6 to 7 millimeters, maybe 6 millimeters. But again, that's the pre-travel right there on single action mode. and then the reset. For double action. Let's try single action again, because that's how most of us are going to be shooting this gun. So reset, pre-travel, break, and then reset, travel, break. About 5-pound break right there. And a well-worn gun. It's going to be a little bit stiffer right out of the box, guys. You're going to see some of the quality on this is very nice, guys. I love this coating. I don't know what this coating's called, but it is pretty durable. I've been sticking this in and out of holsters, and as you can see, it is beveled up in the front, which aids in non-wearing of that. Quick pull apart. Show you how to do this on a different video, but classic John Browning design with the locking lugs. Neat little thing is it does have this little dimple right there on the guide rod, so that when you put it back together, holds in place right there. It does have a firing pin block, guys, so if you don't care for that, want to smooth out the trigger a little bit more, you're going to want to get the shadow version, which is going to alleviate that. You're going to have full rail right here where the hammer comes in contact. But there's just another safety that got added onto it, and good for some, bad for others. But again, there's a lot of things you can do to this gun, guys. You can go to czcustom.com, CajunGunworks.com, and they have tons of stuff you can get for these, either decocker or standard with the safety version. Very easy to work on, at least in my opinion, and I'm an extreme novice, but the quality of these guns is amazing. You can see how it's all rounded out here on two sides, very nicely rounded out here and on the sides here. See how they take a lot of quality in the design of the ergonomics of this gun. But right out of the box, if you get this, guys, it is going to be dirty as hell. And that just goes to show you that they do put this in somebody's hands before they ship it out. They obviously show you the target. It shows you they took the time to shoot this, to sight it in, and they're not ashamed to let you know that this is a used gun right from the factory. They used it to make sure that it works for you. That's important in my book. You know, I don't know how important it is to anybody else, but they handled each and every one of these guns, which is amazing to say in this time. But a lot of attention to detail here. You can see this one's going to have the cutout trigger guard right there. More room for your finger, glove finger. Again, you're going to have upswept right here underneath the trigger guard, so you can get a higher grip on the gun. And even your mag release is going to have serrations, so you can get a nice positive grip on that, so you know that you're hitting that, your finger doesn't slip off. And everything about this gun is meant to be a shooter, honestly. With very minimal upgrades, this is a wonderful gun, stock and even better with a couple mods. But that's what I got for you guys on the CZ75 SP01 Tactical. Tune in for later videos of some of the upgrades I'm going to be doing to it. I have a lot of videos for this gun specifically, and some of the other CZs that I'm going to be picking up because of how much I love shooting these guns and how impressed I am by them. But tune in, guys. That's what I got for you right now.